Hello friend, Shannon West here, coming to you with the next episode of the Great American Stampin' Show. And today I wore my most basic and plain white t-shirt so that it does not interfere with this fabulousness, and all attention can be on the crown. Hopefully it will stay put. I won last week thanks to you and all of your votes, so thank you very much. My card, what did I do? Oh, it was the stamp along. So if you did not yet get a chance to see the first ever Great American Stampin' Show stamp along, whew, that's long, head over and check out that video. We featured Earthen Textures Reimagined. We did a whole new look and feel to that bundle, and all four of us, my three competitors and myself, did 2 cards, so it was an extra bonus. All of the measurements are in the descriptions of our videos. So if you did order the kit and you want to stamp along still, you still can. And if you didn't order the kit, you can cut your own pieces and figure out the projects and stamp along too. That's the whole idea with the stamp along, right? So anyway, I'm going to keep this on my head for tonight's video, which is featuring Stampin Blends. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Stampin Blends have been one of my favorite products for a very long time. There are really so many different ways you can use them. They're so beautiful. They come in almost every color. And there's a light and a dark. And so mixing all of those colors together, you can create such beautiful things, beautiful blends, beautiful scenes, beautiful rainbows, whatever you want to create. And I have a couple of really, I think, quite unique ways to show you to use the Stampin' Blends, featuring my most favorite brand new bundle. Let's take a look. The name of that most favorite bundle of mine in the new Stampin' Up! Catalog is Citrus Blooms. Look at this. It is really cool. And there you can get a little peek at the dies. But wait, there's more. There's a second sheet of dies in here, if I can get that pulled out, which has these incredible dies as well, which are great to make like really statement-like cards. I am going to only use a few small pieces of the dies this time, and probably not what you're expecting with the stamp set. These are perfect for blending Stampin' Blends. In fact, I made a YouTube short and posted that just a few days ago, coloring this image right here. So go take a look at that so that you can see a good way to do that. But tonight I am going to show you something maybe a little bit unexpected with Stampin' Blends. So here are the pieces that I'm going to be using. Basic white, nope, this is a thick basic white cardstock, more white, and then I've got this small piece of designer series paper. That is one of the best parts of this suite, the Mediterranean Bloom suite, this is one of the DSPs, and these beautiful oranges on the other side. This paper is just incredible too. But for this technique, I'm just going to use a small portion today. And what I'm going to do is take some of the blue, let's see, I'm going to just use the, which one? The dark balmy blue Stampin' Blend. Now what I'm going to do is, you can see there's already several blues here. I think in the suite there's Night of Navy, Balmy Blue, Boho Blue, and maybe something else. So what I'm going to do is just color certain parts of this designer series paper. This is something that is so fun to do with Stampin' Blends. Color on designer series paper. So if you have black and white designer series paper, it's perfect for that. If you have any other type pattern, you can color different pieces in, highlight different things, just really do whatever your heart desires with that. Okay, so there you can see I just colored in that whole block there, and it looks so interesting. If you didn't have these, you might not even know that it was colored, but you do know because you watched me do it. So I'm going to do the other 3 of these. All finished with this piece. Look how cool that looks. And now we've created a completely different pattern. And I will point out that when I cut the DSP out, I made sure to do it so that it was kind of like in a perfect little square there. I cut a bigger piece at first that was off center and then eventually was able to line it up so that it was nice and straight there. But just to give you some perspective here, there's a regular one without any coloring. So you can see how different that looks. Isn't that cool? There's really endless possibilities with this when you start thinking of all the little patterns and things that you can color when you're working with designer series paper. I'll show you one more example. Same piece of DSP, same size. This time I'm just going to color in between these two lines here to make a nice solid Night of Navy border. Okay, there we go. There's how it looks finished. And for comparison's sake, you can take a look at the original again and see how different that looks when you compare those to each other, and how just a little bit of Stampin' Blends highlighting some of the patterns goes. Now, some DSPs aren't as prone to this type of thing, like a tile look or a geometric look, but you could get creative with different you know, lines and patterns of colors. There's really endless possibilities. Okay, I've got my pieces here. The 3 little real red stars. I think they're supposed to be flowers, but anyway, they look like stars. And then white of these 2 pieces. So now I'm going to take this piece and put some dimensionals on it and start to layer up my pieces all around. So first this piece. And I'm just going to put this right about here. And then I just want to do just a lot of different embellishments and different things. So I'm going to take this piece and actually just chop it in half and just tuck it underneath here. Let's see, do I want it that? Yeah, that's probably a good amount. So I'm going to just put it like that. And I'll use my Seal Plus because that's really good for paper to paper like this. It'll really hold it well. Okay, now I have a piece of basic white, and I'm just going to cut out a piece, punch out a piece with my 2 3/8 inch punch, circle punch. And then I'll just put this down. This actually, the template for this I did see it on Instagram, but as always, I forgot to take note of who did it, so I need to do better about that so I can congratulate and thank the people that I copy ideas from. But it basically was just a lot of different things piled up here, and it looked really cool. So that's just kind of a half circle, something interesting, something different. And now we can put down our little white leaf. I think that this one I'm going to do some mini glue dots. That way they have a little bit of dimension. They're not exactly flat to the card, but it's not like a dimensional because this is pretty tiny, these very dainty leaves, so it might be difficult to even get a mini dimensional on it. So a couple of mini glue dots should do the trick. And I'll just stick that kind of like right here. Oop, that was a little high, but that's okay. It does stick there. Okay, looking good. And now I'm ready for these little guys here. All right, now we need a greeting. So I've got this piece right here. Move my dies out of the way. And in the stamp set, there's a couple of, oh, whoa, got my finger all in Night of Navy. There's a couple of different greetings, but I'm going to go with this one, just checking in. I didn't want the font, the flowery font. I love those fonts, and I can't wait to use them, but it didn't seem to be right for this stamp set. Well, hold on a second. I gotta wipe off my thumb. Not a good idea to have a Night of Navy thumb when I'm using a white card. So this one, I'm going to just kind of stamp, but I really don't want a very big greeting. So I'm just going to stamp it like that. And then I think I'll just trim around it a little bit so that it's nice and small. We are cruising right along here. I've got another little dot of glue here so that we can pick up this last little red star and stick that down. Oh, cute. Okay, now this one is ready to be added to the card. And I'm thinking right about here, but it is a little tricky because I've got a couple layers of dimensionals on already. So let's see, where are my mini dimensionals? I'm going to stick a couple of those to the back of this to hopefully get the right amount of depth as I'm sticking it so that my greeting is flat across the card. I mean, if it's not exactly, you know, not the end of the world. But let's see, so I've got 2 levels of dimensionals there, which means it would just lay right like that. And I think, whoop, well, look what happened. I stuck it down too soon. Never fear, there's always a way with stamping. There's always a way to fix it. I'm just gonna stick this mini glue dot underneath there. Whoops. Come on, stick into my finger. Stick it under there, and then that should do. So now you can see all of the different layers and interests that's happening on this card. Lots of stuff going on, but because they're all, well, almost all white, I think it just really plays together nicely. Now the last thing, we need a couple of little dots. So how about these ombre matte decorative dots? Well, that is finished. What do you think about that card? Now let me show you one more way to use Stampin' Blends. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you 2 very unique ways to use them rather than coloring an image. That's normally what I've done, is color in images. But here is an additional way. So I've got 4 colors of blue, ones that are in the designer series paper and that kind of like go nicely together. So this is Night of Navy, and I've got 4 colors like I said, so I want to go about 1/4 of the way. Whoops, that was kind of a lot. Okay, better stop because I'm being a little sloppy. So that was dark Night of Navy, and now let's do light Night of Navy. And with Stampin' Blends, you always want to do some overlapping so that they blend together. That's the point. There we go. Maybe I should turn it straight so I can see. That looks perfect. Now I've got balmy blue. Now ideally they just blend, they just run right together. Right now it kind of looks like 4 different colors, or at least 3 different colors. And so the way that I do that is to go back and make sure to go over the seams. So this is the medium, or the lighter of there's this seam. There's a seam between every color. So you can go back and just add more to kind of like blend it together. And then the light blends here, like so. And then you can even use the light one to go over the other seams like this. Sometimes you'll see the color like being pushed around a little bit, like it ends up having a little bit of movement. But in the end, when you let it kind of settle, it really like sinks into the paper and looks really cool. That always is the case with Stampin' Blends. Walk away for a minute and come back and it's like, woo, that looks amazing. So here's the one that I did previously. So you can see over time it kind of blends together and looks really cool. Of course, I also like to sit and play with it too and just make sure that I've got like all the colors right. Sometimes you can just go right over the top too. That's fun too. Anyway, okay, this video doesn't need to be a half-hour long. Let's wrap it up. So now you can see 2 unique ways to use the Stampin' Blends. Background on DSP and this one here. And look at what a cute set they make together. That is it for this round of the Great American Stampin' Show, excuse me. This is a competition. So go vote for my card if you like it. Take a look at my other 3 competitors, Brandy, Julie, Jody. Their links to their videos are in the description of this video. So take a look at that and go check them out and vote for them if you like them better. You know, or you could vote for all of them. I always like to tell that secret. But, you know, really, you should probably pick your favorite. Up to you. You do what you want. But thanks so much for watching. If you want to see what other stamping shenanigans I'm up to, make sure to sign up for my email list. And until next time, Enjoy your projects, your creativity, whatever you're up to. Bye-bye.